Hello, it's the Sportsnet Podcast. I'm Joey Alfieri with Simon Tsalikis. We're here every week bringing you quality sports talk, just like a depiner. That's what the Dep in Sports Dep Pod stands for. You go in and out quickly, short episodes, and we hope you'll join us. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find us wherever you get your audio podcasts as well. Our producer Sam does an excellent job keeping this show on the rails and putting it out there for the masses to see. Tsalikis, what's up today, man?
What's going on?
Living the dream.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's been fun.
What's going on with hockey or is this the Canada soccer?
This was purchased at a World Junior Hockey Championship.
But when here?
It was here, yeah.
Remember that?
Watch USA Finland.
Okay.
Austin Matthews was like 17 years old when it was here.
Was that the one? I remember the one that Canada lost to the Americans at Bell Center. And I remember the best player in that tournament by a mile. You want to guess who that was? I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe. Thomas Chabot.
Yeah, Thomas Chabot.
Thomas Chabot. I remember, I can't remember the year it was, but it was the World Juniors being hosted here. And Thomas Chabot was an absolute beast. Lost to the Americans, I think, at the gold medal game.
I'm getting old, Simon. These
yes.
World Junior Championships, they all get kind of mixed up.
Too often.
Yes, they do. All right, want to get into our topic du jour when it concerns the Montreal Canadiens. And there's been reports over the last, I would say, 7 to 10 days, Simon, that the Canadiens are in the market for a center. Many people have mentioned Nazem Kadri. I'm going to give you a shout out. People who don't know who are watching, Simon and I have worked on the radio together, TSN 690, for a very, very long time. We have a show there on the weekends. And you mentioned Nazem Kadri's name, I think, like early last season.
I'm going to say January.
Okay.
I'm going to say January of 2025.
Yeah.
Early this year. I might have mentioned it before. But
I think you did.
I got hot and heavy on it when the Canadian season seemed like before Four Nations, it was getting to the point where it's becoming undone. And
it became undone a couple of times, and then it came done again, and then it was like done, and then undone, and then done again,
Yes.
and then they ended up making a play.
well, listen, just took the time and went through the National Hockey League, looked for some centers that fit a certain profile.
Okay, are you still interested? That's where I'm
Yes,
getting at here.
But that's not fair to ask me that question.
Better. I asked the question, Tsalikis.
But I'm just, because if you would have asked me this question in July and August, you would have said Matt Duchene, yes. You would Ryan O'Reilly, yes. I don't know how far down the list you would have gotten when I told you no, that I don't want that upgrade at that second line center. So that's why it's not fair. Like, so Nazem Kadri is a guy that I've always liked. There's a certain profile about him that I like. And I think the Habs are a quality hockey team. They are really trending in the right direction. And for Habs fans out there, the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years should be really fun. You have any team that has a young nucleus that age with that much skill level, whether you're playing here in Vancouver, St. Louis, it doesn't matter. You can be playing, baseball in Milwaukee. If your young core is really, really good and they're signed for a long term, the future is very promising. But they lack a little something, Joe. I think they lack a little something. And
What's that, Simon?
They lack a little bit of a dog.
Okay.
They lack a Sam Bennett, and Sam Bennett is not going to be a member of the Canadiens anytime soon. They do lack that dog. I think they're blessed with a whole bunch of finesse and skill and speed and all these things. But when your sandpaper is on the fourth line and it comes in the shape of Josh Anderson and Brendan Gallagher, you're probably missing something up there in your top 9. I think that's one thing he really fits the profile. He's a dog, to the point that he was too much of a dog and they got rid of him in Toronto because he kept getting suspended in the playoffs. For all the right reasons, though, coming to the defense of teammates.
There was a bit of it. There was some immaturity there.
100%
in the game.
But it wasn't him barking at an official. It wasn't him. It was him.
But it was making dumb plays at the really the worst possible time.
I don't know if it's dumb plays, doing dumb things.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
It wasn't turning over the puck at the blue line.
No. I mean, he was doing dumb things.
Yes. So I think he fits that profile. Guy, he scored 35 goals last year. I don't know how many people know that.
Yep. And 75 points the year before.
And I think that Nick Suzuki, I can say that Nick Suzuki is asked to do more than Connor McDavid is to do in Edmonton. And Nick Suzuki is asked to do everything.
Wow.
He does the heavy lifting. He gets the Barkov matchup. He gets the Matthews matchup. He gets the Braden Point Kucherov matchup. It'd be nice for somebody else to take the load off him. He gets McAvoy. He gets Riley. He gets Hedman. He gets all these things. And if you can get somebody that can handle the physicality of a second line center, and you take that off Nick Suzuki's hands, now I'm ready to listen to anybody. I have another name for you here too, if you want.
Oh,
yeah.
well,
But so the Kadri, I don't know, $7 million for the next 4 years. So what?
3. And he's 30. Are you concerned at the
Zero.
age
Zero. I
and
just
money?
saw Matt Scherzer at 49 years old pitching the World
49?
Yeah.
I don't think he's 49. Can we get our best people on? I don't think Max Scherzer's 49.
41, 42. Like, Brad Marchand's at what age? What age is Brad Marchand? Was he not effective in last year's playoffs? Come on, man. So, and again, if you're looking for a contract that's going to be a home run financially and when it comes to term and the guy at the right age, okay, that's not coming. That's not happening. Like, nobody's trading you a guy in their 20s at $4 million who scores 30 goals. That ship will never sail by. So you take it with a grain of salt. $7 million contract. All I hear from the numbers people is that the salary cap is going through the roof and money's not going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Your best players are paid $8 million, all 4 of them. Maybe Demidov makes a little bit more, maybe not.
And Dobson.
Dobson makes 9.5. Gooley's had a great contract. Matthews is going to fall in a nice number. You're not paying anything for your goaltending. And you're concerned that your concern is in 3 years from now, not next year, not the year, in 3 years from now, do I want to pay a third line center $7 million? What are you looking about year number 3, man? Worry about years number 2.
I think Simon is just like, I think, and I like the player, and it's funny, like Sam, our producer, and I were in Winnipeg a couple weeks ago, and we saw the Flames and Jets play live, and Kadri scored in that game. And now watch Kadri because he was in the rumor mill. He could still play. He's a good player. It's just that, we talk about Michael Hage and maybe he's a second line center one day. I'm a little concerned that it's a short-term fix. And I still don't know what the long-term solution is. So I feel like it might just be patchwork now.
It might be glorified patchwork, but if he's got 3 years left on his deal, Joey, next year, let me live in my fantasy. Next year, he's a second line center.
Scary place to be, Tsalikis.
So next year is a second line center.
Yeah.
The year after that, I can guarantee you Michael Hage will not be the second line. Michael Hage is going to spend maybe a year with the Rocket. I don't know what he's going to do. But I doubt that, in 2 years from now, he's ready to say second line center. With Demidov, let's go, let's roll. So if you're looking in Nazem Kadri's third year or whatever year, he is an overpriced third line center, well, it's okay. Because if you think you really believe Michael Hage can slide into the number 2 spot, guess what? He's under cost certainty for the first 5 years.
I don't know that he can do that.
No, but you're speculating and you're hoping that he is that guy. So, yes, to me, Nazem Kadri, 35 goal scorer, a mean streak, can do the heavy lifting for Nick Suzuki. Little things like he was, grew up a Habs fan. I think that matters a little bit.
Yeah.
So, if it matters for Sidney Crosby, grew up it's got to matter for Nazem Kadri as well. You can't be like it's a non-factor. All I hear about is Crosby growing up as a Habs fan. Well, so did Kadri. And again, I don't care what this contract will look through for you. The cap's going through the roof. And if I'll take a shot on a present Hab. Sure. I thought it was going to a very difficult contract to move. If you can move Patrick Laine's contract and get him to Montreal, I think in 2-3 years from now, you could probably move Nazem Kadri, who's got 1 year left on his deal, who plays center. And I'm sure in 3 years from now, there's somebody's going to be looking for some center depth. So to me, it's a no-brainer. Now, what goes in return? We can have that discussion. Right. None of the roster players, not Michael Hage. We can have a discussion about other guys, but it's not going to be Slav. It's not going to be Cole Caulfield. It's not going to be any of those.
No, it's not going to be that. But you'd have to pay a price. I'm assuming the Flames are going to look to rebuild or whatever. But I've seen some people throw out hey, could David Reinbacher be part of this deal? I don't know that I would go there, and I don't personally think the Canadiens would go there either.
Well, we'll see. If you sign Mike Matheson, you're very congested with your top 4 for the next 5-6 years.
Yeah, but I still don't know. You like this guy enough. I know he's had some injury trouble and stuff like that. I don't think that's a move the Canadiens would make. And right now, today, I don't think that's a move that I would make. It's just not a long. I think he's going to be good. I don't even think you'll fall off a cliff, Simon. I don't think you'll fall off a cliff in this deal. But I still don't it's not a long-term fix at second line center.
I don't think.
And if I'm moving, but if I'm moving Reinbacher in a package for a center, it's got to be somebody who's a little bit younger than 35.
Yeah, and if you can give me a name, I'm willing to listen. I was on the Matt Duchene. I was on with anybody who relatively plays offense at a decent pace, and you can get him in free agency. That that ship sailed. You know, I hear people saying Ryan O'Reilly and stuff like that. I'm not sure if I want to go down that road. Again, I think he's an upgrade, so I would be listening in on that. In the last couple of days, because of the struggles in Nashville, Steven Stamkos, absolutely no interest
I don't know
going down that road. So I have one more for you, Zoe. I am on the Nazem Kadri. I will stay on that train. I think it's exactly what they fit, and we'll figure out what happens at the end of that contract. But
you have a name for me, and I have a name who I think they're going to end up with. A center I think they'll get this year.
How do you know this not...
It might be the same guy.
Yeah, okay.
It might be the same person.
You want to play a game of Who Am I?
Sure.
Drafted by the New Jersey Devils.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Scott Gomez.
No. We already made that trade, Simon. It didn't go so well.
Number 6 pick overall. I like the size, Joey. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh, you're okay. I know.
6'4", 211. That's what they're saying on the Hockey DB page here.
Yeah.
And again,
you could trade with a rival.
If the rival wants to trade with me.
It's happened before.
Well, Steelers just didn't the Bengals and the
Bengals and the Browns just made a
traded
deal.
quarterbacks, Joey.
Yeah.
Pavel Zacha.
Yeah.
Shoots left, big center. Again, size down the middle.
Ideally, I think he's slotted as a 3, but he would be your 2 for sure.
Yeah, 2. Listen, you need to upgrade for this team. I think to make that next step, and to be comfortably in a playoff spot come February and March, I think there has to be an upgrade at that center ice position.
He's flirting with a point a game. He's not far off.
I'm just looking at the numbers. Some of the numbers I know it's easy to look at the goals, but only 14. But
last year,
yeah, and then 21 and 21
seasons. Yeah,
you're just looking for a little bit of maybe size, some playmaking ability. Sure. Again, the heavy lifting that I think Nick Suzuki does too much of. So again, are the Bruins ready to make a trade with the Habs? I think if you're in a dogfight for a playoff spot, the answer is no. If the Boston Bruins, no disrespect to the Bruins, I don't believe they're a playoff team this year. And I think there'll be some tough sledding the next couple of years. And if you go out there and you can acquire draft picks, by the time those draft picks come to fruition, Pavel Zacha will probably be no longer a member of the Canadiens. So I'm going to say that's another name that I think you could look at.
The last time, I might be the last time. I'm not 100% sure, but the one time the Bruins and Canadiens made a trade.
Glenn Metropolitan.
I don't think that was a Bruins Canadiens trade. No. He played for a lot of teams. The one I remember as a kid, I was devastated. Devastated. Patrick Traverse for Eric Weinrich. I loved Eric Weinrich.
Yeah, I remember he had didn't he have a tinted visor?
Yeah, he had a tinted visor.
Yellow visor?
But not in Montreal, though.
No, not in Montreal. Okay. He came over to the Habs with the Jeff Hackett deal. No, wasn't he part of that deal? They came from the Blackhawks? So Eric Weinrich went to Boston.
Weinrich to Boston.
Weinrich?
For Patrick Traverse.
Yeah. I don't recall that. I remember the Patrick Traverse days here with the Habs, but I did not know that he arrived from that trade.
1 for 1.
So look, man, there's a couple of names I think you can get. I think it's something that's doable. I think the team's trending in the right direction. I think a move should be made. I concern myself about a little bit of size down the middle. I concern myself a little bit of the lack of sandpaper on your quote unquote top 9. And this is a good team. I think the Panthers, a little bit not disarray, but they've got their injuries, and the Lightning are waiting to make the move. Leafs don't look like the same team as last year, but that's okay. They can figure. There's time for them to figure it out. Blah blah blah. There's a chance that you're the best team in the Atlantic Division. So just go out there and get a little bit better.
So look, you're talking about Pavel Zacha. I'm not saying they're not going to get Pavel Zacha. I'm not saying they're not going to get Nazem Kadri, but I was thinking about this watching the Canadiens earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
There is a guy, a familiar face that they played against the other night that I think that they might go out there and make a move for. Guy who can kill penalties, guy who can win faceoffs.
Yeah.
It's not sexy, but I'll tell you this. As a free agent last year, going into the season, everyone had written this guy off. And by the end of the season, there was a lot more people on this, re-sign this guy on that bandwagon. And it wouldn't surprise me if they went out there, and he was really loved in the locker room. Like, you could tell the way they talk about him.
Well, there was footage, I think it was on RDS, when the Habs were doing their morning skate. He came by the boards and the entire team came over. Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield specifically spent quite a few minutes talking to your boy.
Are you ready for the Christian Dvorak era 2.0. I know he signed was a 1 year over $5 million. Was it 5.4 million or something like that?
Yes.
Obviously, Rick Tocchet and him are familiar with each other from their days in Arizona, but I don't think the Flyers are. I know they beat the Canadiens on Tuesday night, but I don't think the Flyers are great. So if they fall out of the playoff picture, they have Christian Dvorak on a 1 year deal. And if they want to move him at the deadline, I think they'll have no problem moving him, first of all. And secondly, if you're Montreal, we know about the leads that they've blown. We know about, they have some young players in some key positions. But this is a guy they know that fits the culture, fits the system. He's a smart player and does a lot of things well that they right now don't do. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was a Christian Dvorak reunion. You traded, you make a nice little deal closer to the deadline for Dvorak.
I think it's a nice deal you can make at the deadline, and I think you acquire some real professional depth. A lot of teams you'll see them go and get a number 6, number 7 for a deep playoff run. You're gonna at some point.
I think he's gonna cost a little bit more than people realize, though.
Well, I think there'll be tons of teams on him, right? There's no tenure left on that deal, so it's literally a rental. If you got space for him, there'll be a lot of teams in on him. Again, Joey, I don't know if that's the answer for me because I want to see somebody. But if you're in a playoff spot, Simon, and you want to upgrade the penalty kill, you want to upgrade your late game. But I don't think that you're looking for a long-term solution at that second line center position.
But that's not it. That's
not even a month solution. So
no, it's not a solution for a second line center.
If you want to get better, you want to get more professional, I am all for it. But the void will not be filled with Dvorak. I think, look, anytime you can get a good player who's played that many games and especially knows the team, knows the culture, is popular in the locker room, sure, make that move, right? If you get very professional, last year was Michael Pezzetta, forward number 13.
Yeah.
If you can upgrade that and prepare yourself for a playoff run, I'm not saying Dvorak would be 13, it would be somebody else, whoever it may be.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even know who's going to be healthy then. You don't even know.
I think you can do that, and I think you can get better at that, but I'll be a little bit disappointed.
The Sports Depth podcast with Joey Alfieri and Simon Tsalikis. We have plenty of lovely sponsors. We just saw the Clark Cafe go by. I can't even count the amount of times that you and I have met at Clark Cafe location. There are 2. There's one in Point St. Charles, 1207 Rue Shearer, and there's one in Kirkland in the West Island at 16902 Trans-Canadienne. Great coffee, great sandwich.
Love it.
Nutella horn, cornetto. You name it.
I'm a big fan of the tiramisu as well.
Yeah, they have 2. They have the regular tiramisu and they have the pistachio.
Oh, I'm a very classic. I just go
same.
Regular.
Me too. I'm not the biggest pistachio. I'm saying it the Italian way. Nobody's saying anything.
It's pistachio? Is that what it's supposed to be?
It's pistachio in Italian.
Italian? Okay.
I thought you were going to call me out. I don't like pistachio in dessert. I really like that tiramisu, to be honest.
I was going to say about the pistachio. I'm not a fan of it in desserts either.
Yeah.
But if you put a bag in front of me, same bag is gone.
Same. 100%.
Bag does not stand a chance. So yeah, absolutely.
All right. That's it. Just subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to our to the podcast page. Basically, you can hear us wherever you like, but you can also watch us on YouTube and follow us on Instagram for all the latest clips. And anytime there's an episode, if you subscribe on YouTube, you'll get the little notification that we're there. Leave us a rating, 5 on 5. Come on, look how cute Tsalikis is. Leave him a 5 on 5 rating.
Yes.
Leave us a comment. Make fun of us in the comment section. We appreciate any and all comments. So, or most comments we appreciate. So that's it for the Sports Depth podcast. Tsalikis, always nice to see you.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow.